Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host Omar Khalid. But today is the 27th of December 2024, just a couple of days away from this year ending and a new one beginning. But we thought at this juncture of the year, why not understand where Pakistan stood as far as its diplomacy is concerned, its foreign policy is concerned. What was the outlook as far as 2024 is concerned when it came to Pakistan and its relations with the countries across the world? How did Pakistan maneuver in the face of all the different diplomatic challenges that it has seen, that it has helped towards as well alleviating one way or the other on different fora? For that, we have the apt person to talk about many of those things that happened in 2024. She is none other than the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ma'am Mumtaz Zahra Baloch. Thank you very much to have joined us. Thank you very much to have given us this time at the end of the year. We'll begin very quickly because there's lots to discuss. Very active year, 2024, as far as Pakistan's diplomacy is concerned. The whole gamut of our diplomatic relations was on enhancing the profile of Pakistan across the world and also strengthening our relationship with the countries around the world as well. Many high-level visits, but we'll come a bit later on that. How important has all the context of diplomacy vis-a-vis Pakistan been to consolidate our mutual relations with other countries, and how important an opportunity it has been to enhance our political understandings and strengthen trade and investment ties with other countries of the world?
Thank you, Omar. The 2024 was a happening year, as you said, for our diplomacy, but it was a happening year in international politics. And if you see, starting from January, there were so many developments in our neighborhood, in our region, but across the world. We saw wars, we saw governments changing, we saw political turmoil in countries, and that required adaptation of our foreign policy, adaptation of our engagement with countries. And in doing so, it was our first priority was to ensure that Pakistan's interests are served, that Pakistan's relations with countries around the world are strengthened. We focused on our traditional partnerships, strengthened them, but at the same time we tried to expand our relationship with countries with which we do not have those traditional friendships, and we tried to expand these relationships and in mutual interest, and tried to enhance Pakistan's diplomatic profile and to ensure that Pakistan's friends around the world understand Pakistan's perspective on the changes that are taking place around us.
Let's begin with the very beginning of this year. January starts with an unfortunate incident with a very brotherly neighborhood country, that is Iran. But of course, both the countries have been successfully able to move forward through this robust diplomatic engagement and high-level dialogue. We had the visit of the late President Sayyid Ibrahim Raisi as well as the Foreign Minister of Iran later in the year as well. How important is Iran to Pakistan?
Iran is definitely very important to Pakistan. It is a neighbor of Pakistan. All neighbors are important. And it is the Pakistan-Iran border is a peaceful border. It is a border which we want to be known as a border of peace and friendship. And that is why it was a surprise for us what happened in January. But through our active diplomacy and the commitment of the two countries to move forward from that very unfortunate episode, we were able to move forward, and important understandings were reached between Pakistan and the Islamic Republic of Iran, and number of commitments and agreements were made, especially in terms of economic relations, border markets, and of course the issues relating to the border. We agreed and we appointed liaison officers to ensure that such episodes are not repeated again.
All right, ma'am. When it comes to our neighborhood countries, Pakistan has always had this policy of peaceful neighborhood, which is based on mutual respect, which is based on sovereign equality and mutual benefit with its neighbors. How important has all of that been in the context of the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir dispute? How much precedence has this issue taken for Pakistan this year?
Pakistan's focus has always been for peace in the region, so that we and our neighbors and extended neighborhood, we all focus on our internal development, look after the interest of our people, focus on economic development. And that is why Pakistan has always called for settlement of outstanding issues. And one such issue, of course, is the dispute of Jammu and Kashmir between Pakistan and India, because that issue has continued to create difficulties and friction in this relationship between Pakistan and India. And that is why Pakistan has always insisted that we must resolve this issue as per international law, as per the wishes of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and as per the UN Security Council resolutions. And once we have that resolution, we believe there would be very easy for the two countries to move forward in peace and to find common ground to and develop a region which benefits all of us.
Pakistan has always tried to maintain peace with its neighbors. This is something that you've said. We have also tried to have bilateral talks with India, with having all the issues on the table, including that of illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, but that has not proved to be fruitful, because there has been no reaction from the Indian side. On top of that, with the Indian elections that happened also this year, there was a lot of Pakistan card that was used by the politicians. This is something that you also highlighted in one of your statements in the month of May this very year. What are the hopes? I mean, the year is coming to an end. Can we pin some kind of hopes as far as India-Pakistan dialogue in any context in the coming year?
First, I'm glad you pointed out that Pakistan was used politically in India's elections. This is not the case in Pakistan. When we contest elections, we talk about issues that are of importance to our public, about their economic well-being, about their security, and so on. And that is why for a big country like India, using Pakistan as a punching bag in their election season is just not appropriate. We have tried to basically engage on areas where humanitarian issues are concerned. For example, when prisoners of Pakistan and India, those who have completed their terms.
There are two cases of prisoners exchanged between Pakistan and India. From the Pakistani side, there has been one prisoner who has, not prisoner, somebody who was here in Pakistan who has now recently left for India, but there is one issue with a prisoner that is currently there.
Not only that, but this year Pakistan released many prisoners who had completed their terms, and they were sent to India. So we continue to engage with India on humanitarian matters. Secondly, it is important, we believe, that the two countries in the context of SAARC work with other SAARC countries to basically deal with issues that are common to all of us. For example, climate change is one such issue that all of us can work together and combat that. And important amongst all this is to have a peaceful and constructive environment in the region. And for peaceful and constructive environment, we believe it is the country India, which is the bigger country, which has created so many difficulties in this region, to play a constructive role. And they have to create an environment for dialogue, for peace, and one of those important elements for creating that environment is to find a solution to the Kashmir issue as well. Coming back to these issues that we had this year, one was the if you would recall, in the beginning of the year, Pakistan presented some concrete evidence of Indian involvement of extraterritorial and extrajudicial killings in Pakistan. And that is something that is very concerning for Pakistan. But unfortunately, this is not just in Pakistan that is taking place. In the past, it used to be the Indian intelligence would be involved in such incidents, abductions and killings in Pakistan and South Asian countries, but now their network of extraterritorial killings has gone global, and you have seen that there are many other countries which have complaints about India. So it is important that India understands that for peace and for prosperity of this region, it is important that we have a constructive and positive environment. And the way they have been behaving, for example, politicizing cricket, not giving visas to Pakistan's blind cricket team for a World Cup, that is very unfortunate. And we would hope that moving forward they would look at their position and reconsider how they approach their neighborhood.
Let's talk about other countries in the neighborhood as well. There's Sri Lanka, there is Nepal, there's Bhutan, Bangladesh, and of course a bit farther away is the Maldives. How have relations with those countries developed? And I'd like to in particular ask about the development of relations with Bangladesh.
You see, these countries also saw some major changes, political changes, and Pakistan has always said that we do not interfere in the developments that take place in any country. Our relations are with the country. We would like to work with these countries for mutual benefit, and there are a number of areas of cooperation that takes place between Pakistan and these South Asian countries. You spoke about Bangladesh. Pakistan has great respect for the people of Bangladesh. We believe they should decide about their political system, and outsiders should not be lecturing them about their decisions with regards to their domestic developments. As far as Pakistan is concerned, we believe that trade and educational linkages that we have, and science and technology, we have a number of areas of cooperation, and we would like to pursue these areas of cooperation further.
All right. Another neighborhood country that has been, that has been at the base of a lot of issues in Pakistan, let's put it that way. I'm trying to rephrase the question, is Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan has, I'm sure, made a priority or Pakistan's diplomatic outreach and it's Pakistan's diplomatic agenda as well. There is a lot of contact between the both countries, but there are a lot of skirmishes. There's a whole fitna al-Kharij angle as well, and you yourself in a statement had labeled the fitna, and as well as the fact that there were no talks going on. In another statement, you had said earlier this year that there were no talks between the fitna and Pakistan going on as we speak. How do you view the engagement with the Afghan authorities on all issues of priority, which includes security, border management, issues that are related to trade and transit trade? How has a regional approach, in your point of view, to the issue helped Pakistan's perspective in 2024 vis-a-vis Afghanistan?
You see, Pakistan and Afghanistan are old friends. We consider the people of Afghanistan as our brothers. We have cultural linkages, we have family linkages, and we would like to have a very positive, constructive relationship with Afghanistan. And Pakistan has always said that we would like to facilitate Afghanistan in terms of not just bilateral trade, but also transit trade. And of course, support these projects with Central Asia, between Pakistan, Central Asia and Afghanistan. And in that respect, it is very important that Pakistan and Afghanistan work together and ensure that any irritants that arise need to be eliminated. And one such irritant that is out there is the issue of terrorism. Unfortunately, there are terror groups, the TTP, and other terror groups who have found sanctuaries and have hideouts inside Afghan territory. And Pakistan has shared concrete evidence and intelligence with regards to their presence and their activities in Pakistan. And we have asked them to take action against these terror groups. This remains to be on our bilateral agenda. We, Pakistan and Afghanistan, we believe can resolve these issues. We consider Afghanistan as an important neighbor of Pakistan. We respect the sovereignty of Afghanistan. We also believe that Afghanistan should reclaim its sovereignty from these terror groups and take action against these terror groups which are threatening the security not just of Pakistan but also of Afghanistan. This is an area where we continue to engage, and we will continue to engage with Afghanistan.
All right, I won't go further because we have lots to discuss, and if it was Afghanistan specific, I would have asked lots of other questions that are on my mind. Nevertheless, China is a country that has been on my mind, and I'm sure on Pakistan's mind as well. Traditional warmth, the exchange of visits that happened during this year. Our Prime Minister undertook an official visit to China in June. Premier Li Qian of China visited Pakistan in October at the SCO summit. The 5th Pakistan-China Foreign Minister Strategic Dialogue was held in Beijing in May of this very year. And of course, there were a lot of MOUs that were signed on the different occasions of the visits. Our Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister also visited China. How important has the strengthening of the relations between Pakistan and China been if we look at just this year, 2024?
Well, China is a very important partner of Pakistan. It is not just our neighbor, but it is a strategic partner for Pakistan, and it is a dependable friend for Pakistan. And Pakistan has always tried to strengthen this relationship. Actually, both countries are committed to further strengthen this relationship. And in 2024, as you said, the two highlights were the visits of our leadership. The visit of the Chinese Premier Li Qian to Pakistan this year, just before SCO, was very groundbreaking, very important when understandings were reached on so many important issues. And similarly, when our Prime Minister went to China, a number of agreements and MOUs and understandings were reached. He held very important meetings with the President of China and with the Premier. So Pakistan has worked with China to not just strengthen this relationship in all aspects, the economic, military, security, education, science and technology, but also because China is a permanent member of the Security Council. So we engage with China and discuss important developments around the world and share views. Pakistan is also becoming a member of the Security Council from January. So it is important for us to engage with members of United Nations Security Council, and we have been discussing all important developments that have been taking place around us with China as well.
All right, you talk of engaging with the UN, that we are part of the United Nations Security Council, which brings me to a very important keyword for 2024 as far as Pakistan is also concerned: multilateralism. How active has Pakistan remained as far as multilateral diplomacy is concerned in 2024, both in an individual capacity and also as a member of international groupings?
You see, for Pakistan, multilateralism is key to upholding the international system, which is UN-centered international system, for supremacy of international law, and for having a system which is predictive, which serves the interest of developing countries. It is critical that developing countries like Pakistan play an important role in international organizations, and Pakistan has been playing that role, whether it is the United Nations, the OIC, SCO, and ECO, and many agencies of the UN. So in this respect, this year also Pakistan was very active. For us, the highlight was, of course, our campaign and then our election, which we won for the UN Security Council in the UNGA with the unprecedented number of votes. And then the second highlight in multilateral diplomacy for Pakistan this year was hosting of the SCO Heads of Government meeting. That was also a big achievement of Pakistan, and the Pakistani nation should be proud of the way we were able to hold this conference with great success, and not just hosting the conference, but also ensuring that as the head of government chair, we were able to bring all these voices together and come up with a consensus document, a joint communique, which is forward-looking and which reflects the views of all countries of SCO.
Now that you've highlighted SCO, I understand Pakistan's role has been primordial. Our Prime Minister went to Astana earlier this year. Then, of course, we had this huge moot here in the month of October, which was a big success, and everybody was all praises for it. I understand that Pakistan's role will continue in 2045 to be also very important as far as the SCO is concerned. What about the ECO?
Yes, ECO as well. ECO is an important regional organization. It is in our neighborhood, and Pakistan is a founding member of ECO. So Pakistan has great interest in strengthening this organization because it is critical for connectivity, for trade, and for transit trade in this region. Another important aspect of ECO this year is that the Secretary General, the new Secretary General who has been appointed, is our former Foreign Secretary, Dr. Asad Majid Khan, and his presence means that he will be as dynamic a Secretary General as he was a Foreign Secretary of Pakistan, and we have very great hopes from this organization.
All right. Pakistan also was elected as a member of the International Atomic Energy Agency's Board of Governors for a 2-year term between 2024 and 2026, as well as the chair of the US Disarmament Commission for 2024. UN, sorry, my bad. There, I stand corrected. How important are the charters of both the IAEA and the UN Disarmament Commission to Pakistan?
You see, these institutions are critical for international norm setting with regards to the arms control, to disarmament and peaceful uses of nuclear energy. Pakistan has been a long-standing member of IAEA and has played important role in promoting the objectives of IAEA, and it is a gold standard. It has for the safety and security.
All right. So, of course, this is an extremely important avenue as well, and Pakistan being a member of the IAEA Board of Governors as well as the United Nations Disarmament Commission is important in the context of many. I think, yes, you wanted to add something.
Yes, I wanted to basically say that IAEA is critical for peaceful uses of nuclear energy.
True.
And Pakistan has been at the forefront of setting up systems for peaceful uses of nuclear energy, but also for safety of nuclear installations. And we have many lessons to share with the rest of the world. And IAEA is a good platform through which we can work with other countries to uphold safety standards and to strengthen these standards. Similarly, for the disarmament field, Pakistan has been a leader in speaking out on issues relating to arms control and disarmament. We want to strengthen these institutions. So our position in the leadership of these organizations would strengthen the voice of developing countries like Pakistan.
Not exactly related to these two organizations, but nevertheless something important in the same vein. How have relations developed with the United States of America in 2024? Do both countries understand each other's perspective on trade, on security? Also, the US has imposed sanctions on one government institution and 3 private institutions recently. What is Pakistan's stance on this unilateral measure by the US?
First, regarding our relationship, this we believe is a relationship that is in the mutual interest of both Pakistan and the United States. This is an uninterrupted relationship for the last 75 years and above. And Pakistan has a big diaspora in the United States. We have economic ties. US is our biggest export market. So it is in our mutual interest that we continue to further this relationship. Now, with regards to the specific question that you asked, Pakistan sees that it is a very unfortunate development. The decision to sanction a government entity and commercial entities on Pakistan's missile program is unreasonable, and the explanations that have come out are also very unreasonable, because Pakistan's first of all, Pakistan's relationship with the United States is such that this relationship has always been positive. Pakistan has never threatened the United States in any capacity. We have never said that we would like to disrupt this relationship. So the United States, which is a superpower, should have no threat from Pakistan. Similarly, Pakistan's missile program or Pakistan's strategic program are defensive in nature. They have a South Asia context. This is a modest program. So the modest program that we have in South Asia of a developing country like Pakistan, we do not understand how it can be a security threat to a superpower like the United States. So we are frankly, we are disappointed, but we are also very surprised. We would like to engage with the United States and explain to them and try to understand their perspective, and hope that this chapter will be soon over, and Pakistan and United States will move forward in confidence and with mutual trust.
Wonderful. The EU also, ma'am, has been a very important partner for Pakistan. How has this relationship further developed this year, and what are the expectations from 2025?
Well, the European Union is a very important partner for Pakistan, and our major links with the European Union are economic in nature, but we have a big diaspora. We have cooperation in science and technology, in green energy, and this relationship with the individual countries of European Union, but institutions of the European Union as well, this relationship has continued to grow. We believe that GSP Plus is a mechanism or a scheme that is in the mutual interest of both Pakistan and the European Union, and we would like to continue to engage with the European Union and find common solutions for the mutual benefit of the people of the European Union and of Pakistan.
What about the non-EU states, for example, Russia, for example, Belarus, for example, the United Kingdom? Have relations with them bettered this year? What are the opportunities that exist for further strengthening the relations with countries such as these?
Definitely, as you must have seen this year, there were a number of visits from the Russian side to Pakistan and from Pakistan side to Russia. There was a visit of our parliamentarians, but also the Prime Minister of Russia came to attend the SCO meeting, and there were a number of areas of cooperation which were identified, including in energy and agriculture, and Pakistan would like to work on this relationship and continue to collaborate with Russia. At the same time, other countries, non-EU countries, all of them are important. UK, after they left the European Union, is now becoming or has become a very important partner on its own right. We already have very strong ties with the with the United Kingdom. This relationship, especially because of our history, but also because of the diaspora that lives there, this relationship has always been very important for Pakistan. But as the United Kingdom engages with us individually outside the European Union influence, we have found new areas of cooperation and found new areas of collaboration with the United Kingdom.
Commonwealth has been a very important platform also where Pakistan's perspectives on key global issues and challenges have been presented time and again. We had the opportunity to have the Secretary General of the Commonwealth in Pakistan earlier this year. I had the opportunity to interview her also for my show. How important is the Commonwealth to Pakistan, and what are the avenues that Pakistan could further within the context of the Commonwealth?
You see, the Commonwealth is an institution where countries have a common history, and because of our common history we understand each other's problems. And in that context, when the countries of Commonwealth get together, we are able to identify common issues but also areas of cooperation, and we consider it to be a fraternity where we would like to work with other countries of the Commonwealth. For example, this year there was a lot of focus on youth.
Yes.
Pakistan was also the chair of the Youth Committee that our Foreign Minister, the then Foreign Minister chaired. So there have been many opportunities of cooperation with the Commonwealth, and the Secretary General's visit to Pakistan contributed to our understanding. Her understanding Pakistan's problems, issues, priorities, but also it was important for us that we understood how Commonwealth looked at Pakistan.
GCC countries, ma'am, are also extremely important to Pakistan. We have a very robust and solid relationship, for example, with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Our Prime Minister also undertook 4 official visits to the kingdom only this year, and important understandings were also achieved with the kingdom, and many important opportunities are also emerging and have emerged this year as well, whether it be in energy, mining, aviation sectors. What facets of cooperation have been the highlight of 2024 as far as GCC countries like the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are concerned?
You see, you rightly said that this is a traditional partnership. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are very close brothers and partners, and we have economic and strategic partnership with Saudi Arabia. And similarly with other countries of the GCC, Pakistan has traditionally very strong relations, and we have a huge diaspora that lives there. We have religious ties, we have historic ties with the countries of the GCC. Now this year our focus was on economic partnerships with countries of the GCC, especially Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, and finding opportunities of investment of these countries in Pakistan. And you would recall the SIFC was established to facilitate assistance and investment that was coming from these countries. So we are seeing that these relationships are now having a new component in our traditional relationship, which used to be more political and security and defense related. So we would like to further work on the economic component of these relationships, and so that these relationships are multidimensional, and they contribute to the success of our respective nations and for the mutual prosperity of our peoples.
ASEAN countries as well, ma'am, have been important partners for Pakistan. We had the opportunity to have the Malaysian leader here in Pakistan just a couple of weeks back. How important is Pakistan's engagement, and which sectors do you feel Pakistan holds in high esteem or importance when it comes to the ASEAN countries?
You see, ASEAN in the context of Asia Pacific is a key partner, it's a key player, and Pakistan is very interested in expanding our relations with all members of ASEAN. And in that respect, Pakistan has been working with countries of ASEAN to expand our sectoral partnership, but also to ensure that we have individual partnerships with countries of this region. And more focus, you mentioned Malaysia. Malaysia, of course, the visit of the Malaysian Prime Minister was very critical, and number of MOUs and agreements were signed. But not just with Malaysia, other countries in Asia Pacific, in ASEAN, Pakistan has expanded its footprint. We have developed our relations, especially in economic field, but also in cultural ties, because these are many of them are Buddhist countries. They have religious links with Pakistan. So we have been working with them to identify people-to-people opportunities and cultural cooperation as well.
Turkey is another very important brotherly country with which Pakistan has always had strong relations. How has that avenue developed in 2024?
Turkey, again, Turkey, again, like other countries that we have spoken about, China, like Saudi Arabia, these are very traditional, reliable partners for Pakistan. And Pakistan's relations with Turkey continue to grow in not just in economic sphere, but also defense, security. But more importantly, as we saw so many changes and developments taking place in the Middle East, it was important that we engaged with these countries in the Middle East and shared with them our perspective and our concerns about the developments taking place. So with Turkey this year, an important area of our discussion and agreement was the situation in Palestine, the genocide in Gaza, and how we can, as OIC countries, work together to bring this conflict to an end.
Speaking of the Middle East, how strong a proponent for peace has Pakistan been this very year? Pakistan has gone to different international fora, has talked openly, in fact you have also taken out statements many a times this year, highlighting the plight of the Palestinian people, and that something needs to be done. But how important has been Pakistan's role diplomatically in this year as far as the Middle East, specifically Palestine, is concerned?
You see, Pakistan is an important voice internationally. We are an important OIC member, and we have been very vocal about the situation in Gaza, but not just in Gaza, but the developments generally in the Middle East, what is happening in the West Bank, how Israel invaded Lebanon, and how it has threatened the security of other countries in this region. So Pakistan voiced its concern at the United Nations, at the OIC, at D8, at ECO, all important forums where we have a voice. And bilaterally as well, this was an important point of discussion with our counterparts. Pakistan also was a party at the ICJ, where the issue of foreign occupation of Palestine was considered. Pakistan represented at the ICJ and supported the ICJ's the South Africa case, for example, of genocide in Gaza. We have expressed support for that. So for us, it is
also at the United Nations.
At the United Nations as well, and it is what we are seeing in Gaza, what we are seeing in Lebanon, what we have seen in the West Bank. It breaks the heart of any individual of conscience. And it is important that our government speaks the voice of the people of Pakistan, and that is what we have been doing internationally.
All right. You talked about South Africa and of course how you supported their resolution at the ICJ. But how has Pakistan looked towards Africa? If you look at the African continent this year in 2024, have bilateral relations with African countries improved this year?
Definitely. For us, Africa is an important continent. And we have expanded our footprint in Africa. We have opened more embassies. We see there is a great scope for trade and investment with Africa. Our connectivity with Africa has increased. The airlines have started operating. And in addition to that, Pakistan is also a partner of the African Union. We believe African Union and the African unity is important for multilateralism that we discussed earlier. Africa's voice is crucial for peace. Its voice is crucial for international, for the resolution of international issues, and Pakistan would continue to work with our brothers in Africa to promote multilateralism, to strengthen the United Nations, and we would like to work with them individually to strengthen bilateral relations as well.
How important is regional connectivity when it comes to Pakistan? There are so many avenues as far as that is concerned. I'll just mention one: Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan. Important agreements were reached, understandings were reached to enhance this connectivity in energy, transport and infrastructure. What can Pakistan achieve through these engagements?
You see, we discussed this earlier as well. Central Asia and Afghanistan are landlocked, and these countries are important partners for Pakistan. They have an interest in connectivity and reaching to international markets through Pakistani ports. So Pakistan has been engaged with these countries. We have developed agreements and understandings to promote trade, transit trade, connectivity, including railway connectivity. Railway connectivity has been discussed between Pakistan and Central Asia through Afghanistan. And then there are a number of energy projects. You would remember there's a CASA project, the TAPI project, and these are important priorities for Pakistan.
All right, last question. I've taken a lot of your time. What do you project for 2025? We're just a couple of days away as far as Pakistan's foreign policy expectations and outlook.
Well, 2025, we expect to continue with the momentum that we have in developing our relations with countries around the globe. Traditional friendships, we'll try to strengthen them further, but we would also like to engage more with countries with which we do not have as extensive relations as we would like to have. For example, Latin America is a very important continent, and we would like to expand our relationship with countries in Latin America. Similarly, Africa again is an important priority for Pakistan. But 2024, you would see Pakistan as a member of the UN Security Council, taking up the mantle of multilateralism.
2025.
Sorry, 2025. What did I say? 24?
Yes.
Yes, so in 2025, you will see Pakistan as a member of the UN Security Council, taking up the mantle of multilateralism, of international law, a voice of developing countries, a voice of reason, and that would be the key highlight of Pakistan at the United Nations. And we have great expectations from our very able representatives at the United Nations, and the rest of the team in the Foreign Office will be supporting them.
All right. Thank you very much, Mumtaz Zahra Baloch Sahiba, to have joined us, to have given us the outlook for 2024. What should we expect for 2025? The year is about to end. From all of PTV World and from myself, I wish you a happy new year in advance, and may 2025 open up new doors and new avenues for you, professionally as well, and we hope to see more of you on different parts of the globe and in different important opportunities as well, important responsibilities as well. Thank you very much, ma'am, again to have joined us. This brings us to the end, ladies and gentlemen, of this very important episode of Newsroom. We talked about Pakistan's foreign policy. I think it's very important to understand where Pakistan stands, and it was very important when we talked about Pakistan's foreign policy outlook that it came from none other than the Foreign Office spokesperson. We'll see you inshallah on Monday with news stories and segments that pertain to us here in Pakistan. I had forgotten it was a Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.